Rain hammered the glass walls of the Aurelia, the city's most exclusive restaurant. Inside, the chandeliers glowed like melted gold. Laughter, clinking glasses, and the soft hum of a jazz piano filled the air, but Sophia barely noticed any of it. Her trembling hands gripped a tray of champagne flutes, and her tired eyes kept darting to the phone hidden in her apron pocket. She was waiting for one message. Just one. "Mom, the doctor says I need the treatment soon. Please don't worry about the money." Her daughter Emma's last text replayed in her head like a haunting echo. The words soon and money twisted her heart like a knife. The hospital had given her 2 days to make the payment. 2 days, or Emma would lose her chance to survive. And tonight, fate had placed her in the same room as him. Robert Hale. The billionaire everyone in the city feared, ruthless, cold, and untouchable. He was seated near the window, surrounded by powerful men in tailored suits, signing deals that decided the future of others without blinking. His watch alone could pay for Emma's treatment 10 times over. Sophia moved closer, balancing the tray as she refilled his glass. Her voice was steady, but her heart raced. "Would you like another drink, sir?" Robert didn't even look at her. "Make it quick," he said, still focused on the documents. Sophia nodded, forcing a polite smile. But as she turned away, her eyes caught the edge of a black leather wallet lying beside him on the table. Open, thick with cash and sleek cards. For a moment, her breath stopped. She quickly looked away. But her mind wouldn't. That money could save Emma. That money could buy her one more chance. Sophia tried to shake the thought away, but every time she blinked, she saw her daughter's pale face, the hospital machines, the bills stamped urgent. Then fate whispered again. Robert stood up to take a phone call, leaving the wallet unattended. His voice echoed through the corridor. "No excuses, I want that merger done by morning." Sophia stood frozen behind the counter, staring at the wallet like it was glowing. The rain outside grew louder, drowning out her heartbeat. Her co-worker, Evelyn, noticed her stillness. "Sophia, you okay?" Sophia nodded quickly. "Yeah, just tired." But her hands were shaking now. In that moment, something inside her broke, the quiet, obedient part that had always believed in waiting for miracles. Her fingers brushed the wallet. The soft leather felt warm, dangerous. She hesitated, whispering to herself, "I'll return it. I just need it for now. For Emma." She slipped it into her apron. No one saw, or so she thought. Across the room, a waiter, Michael, froze, his eyes widening slightly. He'd seen everything. Sophia hurried to the back, her breath shallow, her mind screaming. The rain outside now sounded like 1,000 whispers of guilt. When Robert returned to the table, he reached for his wallet. His jaw tightened. "Where is it?" Silence. "Where's my wallet?" His voice boomed, cutting through the music, the laughter, everything. Guests turned. Staff froze. And Sophia, hidden behind the kitchen doors, clutched the wallet in her apron. As her phone buzzed again. A message from the hospital. "Emma's condition is worsening." She gasped softly, her tears mixing with the sound of thunder outside. But what she didn't know was that Robert had already ordered his security to check the cameras. And within minutes, her face would appear on the screen. What will happen when he finds out? The rain hadn't stopped. It pressed against the glass like invisible fingers, as if the city itself was watching what was about to unfold inside the Aurelia. Robert Hale stood in the middle of the dining hall, his voice sharp and commanding. "Lock every exit. Nobody leaves until I find my wallet." The music stopped. The laughter died. Waiters exchanged nervous glances. Guests whispered behind crystal glasses, curious but terrified of interrupting him. Sophia stood frozen near the kitchen doorway, her heart thundering so loudly she thought the whole restaurant could hear it. Her apron felt heavier now, as if the wallet inside was made of stone. Evelyn touched her arm. "Sophia, what's happening? Did you see anything?" Sophia couldn't speak. Her lips trembled. She just shook her head, muttering, I don't know. But Evelyn noticed the way Sophia's eyes darted toward the floor. The way her hands hid behind her apron. Something wasn't right. Meanwhile, Robert turned to the restaurant manager. Check the security cameras. Now. Within minutes, the footage began to play in his private office. Grainy, black and white, showing a perfect view of the moment Sophia had slipped the wallet into her apron. Robert's jaw clenched. His cold blue eyes hardened like glass. Find her. The manager hesitated. Sir, she's one of our most hard-working waitresses. Maybe. Now. The order cut through the air like a blade. In the kitchen, Sophia was already trembling as two security guards entered. The sound of their shoes against the tiled floor echoed louder than the rain. Miss Sophia Reynolds, one of them said, calm but firm. She looked up, her face pale. Why yes. Mr. Hale would like to see you. Now. Evelyn gasped. Wait, what's going on? But Sophia already knew. Her breath caught in her throat. The air around her felt too heavy to breathe. As they escorted her through the silent dining hall, every pair of eyes followed her, whispers rising like smoke. Did she really steal from him? She's worked here for years. No one steals from Robert Hale and walks away. When she entered Robert's office, the atmosphere was ice cold. He was standing by the window, watching the rain fall over the glittering skyline. The city lights reflected in his eyes like tiny sparks of fury. He didn't turn around when he spoke. Do you know what kind of people steal from me, Sophia? She swallowed hard. Sir, please. He spun around, slamming the wallet onto his desk. Because I have you on camera. Sophia flinched. Her body felt like it was crumbling from the inside. I can explain, she whispered. Explain. His voice was venomous. You had the nerve to take what wasn't yours from me, and you think I'll listen to excuses? Tears blurred her vision. Please, it wasn't for me. It was for my daughter. She's in the hospital. She's dying, and I had no one else to turn to. Robert stared at her in silence. For a moment, something flickered in his eyes. Confusion? Doubt? But then it was gone. Everyone has a story, he said coldly. And they all sound the same when they're lying. Sophia stepped closer, desperate. Please, sir, I swear I'll return every cent. I just needed time. Emma, she's only 6. She doesn't deserve this. Her voice cracked at the name. But Robert didn't move. His expression was unreadable, carved in stone. Then, quietly, he pressed a button on his desk intercom. Call the police. Sophia froze. No, please, I'm begging you. Her words echoed through the office as the guards took a step forward. She fell to her knees, sobbing. I wasn't trying to steal. I was trying to save her life. The silence that followed was unbearable. Robert looked down at her, emotionless. But for the first time in years, something inside him wavered. He saw a flicker of his own past, a hospital room, a woman crying, his own daughter years ago before she was gone. For just a second, he turned away, as if trying to bury a memory. But when he looked back, his voice was calm and cold again. You'll have your chance to explain, to the police. The guards reached for her arms. Sophia's tears fell onto the marble floor. You don't understand. She's going to die tonight if I don't get that money. Robert hesitated. Just for a heartbeat. Then the office door opened, and a call came in that would change everything. Sir, said his assistant breathlessly, we just got a message from the hospital. It's about your daughter. Robert's eyes widened slightly. Sophia stopped crying. Her breath caught. The room froze. And in that instant, the truth neither of them knew yet, was about to shatter their worlds. Robert's world shifted in a single heartbeat. The room that had moments ago felt charged with anger now filled with something colder, dread. He turned sharply toward his assistant. What did you say? The assistant hesitated, his voice trembling. Sir, the hospital called. They said your daughter, Lily, is in critical condition. The infection spread. They need an immediate donor. Robert's expression hardened, though his fingers gripped the desk tighter. That's impossible. She was stable this morning. Sophia's head lifted at the sound of the word daughter. For a moment, she forgot the tears drying on her cheeks. Your daughter, she whispered. Robert shot her a sharp look, but there was something else behind his eyes now. Fear. Without another word, he stormed out of the office. The guards hesitated, unsure whether to follow Sophia or their boss. Finally, one of them said quietly, "Stay here." Sophia's mind raced. She stared at the wallet on the desk, then at the rain streaming down the window. Every second she waited felt like another second closer to losing Emma. Her shaking hands clenched into fists. If his daughter's dying too, maybe he'll understand. Maybe he'll finally listen. Moments later, Robert's car screeched to a stop outside St. Clair's Hospital. He ran through the automatic doors, ignoring the nurses calling after him. His daughter, Lily, lay pale and motionless under the harsh fluorescent light, her tiny chest rising and falling with the help of machines. The sight gutted him. He had built empires, crushed rivals, and made millions, but all his power couldn't stop what was happening in front of him. "Mr. Hale," the doctor said softly, "we found a possible match for a transplant, a little girl named Emma Reynolds. She's in the children's ward. But her mother hasn't paid for the procedure yet. The hospital can't proceed without authorization." Robert froze. Emma Reynolds. The name struck like lightning. He turned slowly toward the doctor, his voice low. "Reynolds?" "Yes. Her mother's been trying to reach us all day." Robert's breath hitched. His mind replayed the desperate woman's voice, Sophia's words in his office, "She's dying. She doesn't deserve this." 1,000 thoughts collided at once. He looked down at his daughter again, her frail hand, the 4-tube, the pale lips. Then he whispered something no one had ever heard him say before, "Cancel the police call." Meanwhile, back at the Aurelia, Sophia sat in the corner of Robert's office, her eyes swollen from crying. The guards stood by the door, whispering to each other. Evelyn suddenly burst in. "Sophia!" The manager said Robert left. "The police aren't coming." Sophia blinked. "What? He just left everything and ran out." Her heart pounded. "Did something happen?" Evelyn nodded. "They said it was about his daughter. She's in the hospital." Sophia's breath caught. His daughter. A wave of guilt hit her like a tidal surge. She had stolen from a man who was fighting his own battle, a man whose child might be dying too. But before she could speak, the office phone rang. One of the guards answered, then looked at her strangely. "It's for you." "Me?" she whispered. He handed her the receiver. Sophia's voice shook. "Hello." A familiar, low voice spoke on the other end. "Sophia. It's Robert Hale." She froze. "Sir, I..." "Listen to me carefully," he interrupted, his tone different, calmer, quieter. "I know about your daughter. The hospital told me everything." Tears welled in her eyes again. "Please, Mr. Hale, I didn't mean to." "I don't care about the money anymore," he said, cutting her off. "I want you to come to St. Clair's Hospital. Now." Sophia's breath caught. "What? Why?" Robert paused for a long moment before saying, "Because it seems our daughters might be each other's only chance to live." The phone slipped slightly from Sophia's hand. The words echoed in her mind like thunder, each other's only chance to live. She didn't understand, not yet. But deep down, she knew this was far from over. Without another thought, she ran out into the rain, the city lights blurring around her, her heart torn between fear and hope. As she climbed into the cab, lightning flashed across the sky, illuminating her tear-streaked face. Somewhere in the distance, a man who once had everything was waiting for the woman who had stolen from him. And for the first time, neither of them knew who the real thief was anymore. Was it the woman who took his money, or the man who had already lost his soul. Sophia ran through the hospital doors, soaked from the rain, her hair clinging to her face. Her chest burned as she gasped for breath. The sterile air inside smelled of disinfectant and fear. She scanned the lobby, heart pounding, and then she saw him. Robert Hale. The same man who hours ago had wanted her arrested now stood by the window, his suit rumpled, his face pale. But there was something human in his eyes now, something fragile. He turned when he heard her footsteps. For a moment, neither spoke. The world outside seemed to vanish, only the quiet hum of machines and distant footsteps remained. Sophia finally whispered, "You said our daughters." Robert nodded slowly. "The doctors ran a test. Emma's blood type matches my daughter's perfectly. She could be the donor Lily needs." Sophia's eyes widened. A donor?" "Yes," he said, his voice barely steady. "And your daughter's only chance for treatment depends on a procedure my hospital owns." The irony cut deep. The man whose money she had stolen now held her daughter's life in his hands. Tears filled her eyes. "What do you want from me?" Robert looked at her, not as a thief, not as a servant, but as a parent drowning in the same storm. "I want you to understand that I don't hate you, Sophia. I was like you once. Desperate, begging someone richer for help." His jaw tightened. No one listened. He looked through the window at the rain. "So I became the man I hated most. Powerful, untouchable. And yet here I am again. Powerless." Sophia's lips trembled. "Please, Mr. Hale. I'll do anything. Just save Emma." Robert nodded. "I've already paid for both surgeries. The doctors will do what's needed. But," he hesitated, his voice dropping, "there's something else. The DNA results showed something unexpected." Sophia frowned. "What do you mean?" He met her eyes. "Emma and Lily, they share more than blood type. They share blood. They're half-sisters." Sophia froze. For a second, the world went silent. What did you just say?" Robert exhaled, the weight of years pressing down on him. 15 years ago, before I married my wife, I was with someone, briefly. She left without telling me she was pregnant. I never knew she had a child. Until today." Sophia's voice broke into a whisper. "That woman was me." The air left the room. Robert stepped back, his face pale. "What?" "I didn't tell you because you wouldn't have believed me," Sophia said, tears streaming down her face. "You were rising, ruthless, focused only on money. I wanted Emma to grow up safe, far from your world." Robert's lips parted, but no words came. He looked through the glass at the 2 small hospital beds being prepared, one for Lily, one for Emma. 2 little girls. Both his. "God!" he muttered, running a trembling hand through his hair. "All this time. I never knew." Sophia nodded weakly, her voice shaking. "And now, one of them might have to save the other." The truth hung between them, heavy, tragic, impossible. The operation room lights flickered behind the glass. Robert stood motionless as doctors rushed past him. Through the window, he could see Emma being prepped for the procedure, her tiny hand dwarfed by the nurse's glove. Sophia stood beside him, her eyes red but resolute. "I gave consent," she whispered. "If Emma can save Lily, then let her." Robert turned to her, voice trembling. "You'd risk your daughter's life to save mine?" Sophia shook her head. "Not yours, Robert. Ours." The word hit him like a wave. He stared at the 2 hospital beds, one little girl giving life, the other clinging to it, and realized what he had done with his own life. He had built walls, fortunes, and enemies, but no bridges, no love, no forgiveness. The surgeon approached. "Mr. Hale, the transplant is underway. It's risky, but both girls are stable for now." Robert nodded, unable to speak. He turned to Sophia. "You were right," he whispered. Money means nothing when the person you love is slipping away. Hours passed like years. Every tick of the clock felt like a punishment. Finally the door opened, and the doctor stepped out, exhausted but smiling faintly. "They're both alive." Sophia collapsed into tears, covering her face with her hands. Robert sank into a chair, his shoulders shaking for the first time in decades. Later, when the girls were moved into recovery, Robert walked into the room quietly. Emma and Lily lay side by side, their small hands touching. For a long moment, he simply stared at them, the daughters he almost lost, one he never knew existed. Sophia stood by the window, the dawn light spilling across her face. The rain had stopped. Robert turned to her. "I can't change what I was, Sophia. But I can start over. For them." She nodded softly, her voice fragile but sincere. "Then start by forgiving yourself." He stepped closer, his voice low. "And you? Can you forgive me?" Sophia hesitated, then looked at the two sleeping girls. "Maybe not today," she said. "But one day, when they're old enough to understand what love costs, I will." The room fell silent again. Only the soft rhythm of the monitors filled the air, steady and alive. Robert reached out, gently brushing a tear from Sophia's cheek. "You stole my wallet," he said quietly, "but you gave me back something I didn't know I'd lost." She smiled faintly. "A heart." He nodded. "A family." Outside, the city lights faded into the pale gold of morning. And for the first time in years, Robert Hale didn't feel like a billionaire. He just felt human. If you were in Sophia's place, would you risk everything, even your freedom, to save your child's life? Or would you still believe that doing the right thing is worth losing someone you love?